Howdy, y'all. Steve from Texas here. You know how it goes. Someone asks for the best 9mm pistol, and some dude in a tactical hat starts whispering about a Glock 19 like it's a secret society. Or maybe it's a SIG or a CZ. Well, I'm here to tell you that in 2025, that ain't the whole story. I've bought the wrong gun more times than I'd like to admit. Guns I thought were gonna be legends ended up feeling like overpriced toys. And the ones I ignored, they're the ones I keep reaching for now. This list isn't about what's trending on Instagram. This list is about the quiet killers, the ones that keep showing up round after round until they earned my trust. These are the 10 best 9mm pistols you can't ignore in 2025. And the pistol at number 3, man, that one still makes me mad for how good it turned out. So, let's jump into it. Now, I reckon I ain't one for being quiet, and the truth is, I didn't want to like this damn gun. Ever since SIG dropped the P365, every fella's been telling me it's the future of carry. I figured the X Macro with its built-in compensator was just a new way to part a man from his money for a lot of flash. It sat in the glass case out of the shop looking like it was all talk. But out of pure stubbornness, I took a notion to rent it for a range session. I took a few shots and had to stop and check the gun. It was just peculiar. Felt like I was popping caps from a pea shooter. The recoil was so soft and that muzzle stayed so flat it plumb didn't make any sense. After a few more mags, I realized this wasn't some fancy parlor trick. This was a pistol that just flat out worked. It had the full-size grip I favored, with that comp doing the work of a much bigger gun. The trigger was a clean break, and the slide, well, it just cycled without a fuss. It's the first P365 I've ever put my hands on that didn't feel like a compromise. That little fella, he earned my damn respect. A fella looks at the handgun market these days and he sees the same damn thing everywhere. It's all plastic frames, mushy triggers, and a whole lot of compromise. It's like the industry's just coasting on its reputation, and I was plumb tired of it. I wanted a gun that was built with some honest thought. A piece of steel and polymer that was meant for real work, not just a marketing gimmick. But then I saw the Echelon. It wasn't screaming for attention or making a fuss. It just stood out because it felt purposeful. When I got it in my hands, I could feel its guts. The central chassis, the solid build. It was an exception to the rule, a standard bearer in a sea of mediocrity. When I took it to the range, it didn't stutter even once. It shot straight, and the trigger was a clean break. The Echelon isn't a toy. It's a serious duty gun that solves a real problem for real shooters. It just gets the job done without a fuss. This pistol set a new standard for me. This is the kind of gun that exposes the flaws in other pistols, the ones that are just coasting on their reputation. If you think a standard-looking pistol can't get the job done, wait till you see the next fella on our list. He's from a company that builds military guns, and he's not what you'd expect. I've seen plenty of plastic pistols just come and go, but the first time I picked a P01, it felt different. Cold metal, weighty in the hand, like it was daring me to compare it to the striker crowd. Most folks call that old school, but me, I call it trustworthy. This ain't some polymer toy you toss in a drawer. The frame's forged aluminum, heavy enough to soak recoil, but light enough to still ride on the hip without dragging your pants down. And that hammer brings a kind of confidence striker-fired pistols just can't fake. First pull is heavy, yeah, but once it breaks in, you know exactly when it's about to bark. I watched a buddy drop his on the concrete during a night shoot. Gun skittered, flashlight broke, pistol didn't even hiccup. Loaded, racked, and kept running like nothing ever happened. That's when I figured out why some men won't carry anything else. No, it's not modern. No red dot plates, no space age styling, no Instagram hype. But it doesn't need any of that. The PO1's already done the hard part, proving it still fires when the shiny new ones just choke. Some pistols beg for attention, but this one just gets the job done, and that's why it's here. You'll weight, grip that bites back a little. It feels serious, not something you toss in a gym bag, something you strap on because the day might get ugly. The old M&Ps were fine, just forgettable. Always the other option when Glock fanboys wouldn't shut up. But this metal, whole different animal. Heavier, steadier, and it kicks softer than you'd expect. You squeeze the trigger and it's like, finally, the M&P grew up. Now don't get me wrong, it's not invisible on your hip. You know it's there. If you're carrying it all day, you'll feel it tugging. But that weight, that's trust. That's the gun telling you, relax, I got this. Of course, Glock guys will still sneer. They'll say aftermarket this, aftermarket that. Yeah. But out on the range, while they're polishing their 19s, this thing's punching holes exactly where you point it. The old M&Ps blended in. The 2.0 metal walks in the room and finally makes Glock look over its shoulder. Half the room swears this is the best polymer pistol alive. The other half spits and calls it a block of cheese with a barrel. That's the PDP Compact. Nothing in the middle, just two cams glaring across the line. It's not built to please, it's built to fight. The frame feels like it came out of the gate swinging, and shooters argue if that's genius or stupidity. Some say the roughness gives them confidence, others say it tears out their hand like a rasp. Both are right, and that's the point. This gun doesn't bend itself to you, you bend yourself to it. And when you do, it pays you back. It hits where you point, fast and steady, and it'll make an average shot look sharper than he really is. I've seen pride get broken quick by this pistol. Guys bragging until they realize it wasn't them, it was the Walther carrying them. It's not sleek, it ain't even subtle, and it sure as hell ain't a gentleman's gun. The PDP Compact was made loud on purpose to stir arguments and win fights. Love it or hate it, you can't ignore it. I've lost count how many times I've seen it. A rookie shows up with some shiny new carry pistol, swears it's the one. 6 months later, that pistol's traded off, sold, or sitting in the safe, and what's strapped to their hip now is a Glock 19. It's the gun folks end up with after they've burned through all their mistakes. The Gen 5 didn't try to reinvent what already worked. Glock just smoothed out the trigger, killed those finger grooves, threw on an ambi slide. Nothing fancy, nothing wild. Just the little touches that keep it the workhorse it's always been. And that's the thing about this pistol. It doesn't dazzle you. It just wears you down with consistency until you stop doubting it. I've run it in Texas heat, and I've seen it in winter ranges up north. Dirty ammo, cheap mags, bone dry from neglect. And guess what? It still cycles. Doesn't mean it's exciting though. The 19 is black coffee, bitter, plain, but you drink it every damn day because it does the job. Now there's whispers about a Gen 6, modular grips, cleaner takedown, maybe a trigger that finally shuts the critics up. If that happens, this story gets a new chapter. But until then, the Glock 19 Gen 5 keeps proving that boring is sometimes the smartest bet. Some pistols feel like tools. This one feels like a damn Volt with a barrel attached to it. Overbuilt, heavy in the hand, like it was made to outlast you and whoever comes after you. You rack that slide and it's not a click, it's a clunk, like closing the door on a bank safe. At the range, it shoots flat. Too flat. Saw a guy running one, stacking holes so clean, folks started whispering. He's not a pro though. The gun was carrying him. I took it for a spin, and yep, felt the same. Recoil melts away, sights snap right back. Makes you wonder if it's hiding some trick inside, but nope, it's just that damn good. But HK isn't cheap, and they know it. You'll pay for this pistol, then you'll pay for mags like you're ordering spare parts for a Mercedes. Every time you hit checkout, you'll curse their name, and then you'll smile the next time you run it on the line. That's the trap. HK fanboys walk around smug like they've joined a private club. Annoying as hell until you realize you just joined too. The price may stink, sure, but the VP9 don't care about your wallet. It just keeps running, and if you think this German vault is impressive, wait till you see the next one that knocked me sideways. Most carry guns feel like cheap toys. Thin plastic frames, feather light, built just to disappear more than fight. This one? Hell no. Pick it up, and it feels like a steel brick someone shaved down just enough to slide in a holster. Heavy, dense, like it was made for a gunfight and not comfort. Truth is, it doesn't make sense as a carry pistol. Too much weight, too much steel, but on the line, it shuts you up real quick. That trigger breaks, and the recoil just dies. Sights snap back like they're glued in place. I've seen shooters who couldn't hit a barn suddenly look like they trained all year. Guns doing all the work, by the way, not them. That's the problem and the charm. It spoils you. You start thinking you're hot stuff because groups are tight and follow-ups are quick. But deep down, you know, it's the shadow carrying you, not the other way around. And carrying it feels like strapping a truck axle to your hip. Nobody's saying picks this as their everyday piece, but the ones who do, they ain't playing games. They're betting on steel and control over comfort. Didn't expect it this high, didn't think I'd respect it this much, but here it sits. And if that don't rattle you, number 2 sure as hell will. Pick this one up, and it don't feel like a pistol. Feels like a slab of steel that dares you to carry it all day. Heavy, stubborn, unforgiving. The Legion trim just sharpens that edge, like Sig took an old workhorse and gave it a fresh set of teeth. It ain't a pistol that lets you get sloppy. That single action pull, too clean, too sharp. You yank on it, it'll embarrass you in front of everyone. I've seen guys walk up grinning, squeeze off a string, and then mutter to themselves when the target told the truth. But when you respect it, when you slow down and run it right, the shots look like they've been drilled by machine. Tight, stacked, no excuses. Now don't get me wrong, living with it is another matter. It's big, it's heavy, and your belt's gonna curse you out loud. Costs more than most folks care to spend, and the mags aren't cheap either. Hell, feels like Sig should hand you a damn car key with the receipt. But that's the price of steel and history. Not everyone needs one, and most don't. But the few that do, they know. And if this beast only lands at number 2, you better believe number 1 rattled even me. You ever noticed how some guns feel like they're built in a boardroom and others feel like they were built in a garage by a guy who actually cares? The Hellcat isn't polished, isn't comfortable, and it sure as hell ain't fun. But it's mean, and sometimes mean is all you need. I've carried this thing till the slide sweat stained, till lint clogged up the mags, till the finish started to wear like a work boot. And you know what? It never gave a damn. Pull it, point it, squeeze it. The thing just keeps barking. It don't care if the ammo's bulk box or premium. It don't care if your hands are greasy or frozen. It's built for ugly days, not pretty ones. Now don't get it twisted, this thing ain't no range queen. Run 100 rounds straight and it'll slap your palm like it's punishing you for shooting it. Trigger serviceable, not sweet. Recoil sharp, not soft. But carry ain't a beauty contest. It's a question. When the days go sideways, do you trust what's riding on your hip? With the Hellcat, that answer is certainly yes. It's not the pistol you brag about, it's the one you keep, because when the moment comes, bragging doesn't always matter, surviving does. Every time I pull this thing out, somebody smirks. That's a toy 1911, they say. And hell, they're not wrong. It looks like somebody threw a 1911 in the dryer and shrunk it down 2 sizes. Pretty little thing too. Slim frame, clean lines, all dressed up like it's heading to church. But here's the trick. Underneath those Sunday clothes, it's still got fight in it. I've watched shooters laugh at it, then go wide-eyed after the first mag. Snappy, sure, but it barks every single time. That short barrel kicks harder than you think, and the sights, well, let's just say they do the job when you're inside arm's reach, which is exactly what this pistol was built for. Now, this ain't no workhorse. You're not taking it through 1,000 rounds in a weekend. Hell, run a box or two, and your hand will be telling you to knock it off. But as a pocket piece, a just-in-case pistol, it makes sense. It looks sharp enough to show, shoots well enough to matter, and slips into a jacket without fuss. Not cheap, not perfect, but if you've ever wanted that 1911 feel shrunk down for daily carry, this is about as close as you're getting. Found mine sitting where it shouldn't have been. Damp shed, summer storms had rolled through, and the pistol had that orange kiss creeping up the slide. Most folks would have tossed it in the junk pile right there and then. After all, rust is the kiss of death, right? Well, not this time. I wiped it down, little oil, little rag work, and thought, hell, let's see if it still runs. First mag, clean. Second mag, still barking. That ugly scar never slowed it down. And that's when it hit me. This ain't the kind of gun that quits just cause it doesn't look pretty. This is the kind of gun that don't give a damn what shape it's in. It just fires regardless. Now, let's be clear, nobody brags about rust. Nobody shows off a pistol with freckles like a beat-up shovel. But when a damn thing still cycles, still spits brass, still eats every round without stuttering, that's when you start smirking at the guy polishing his safe queen while this cheap Ruger still proves a point. It's not flashy and it ain't flawless, but it doesn't stop. Sometimes the best guns are the ones that survived being left behind. And the Max 9, mine carried the rust and kept on running. That's enough reason for me to trust it. I'll be honest with you, making this list pissed me off more than once. Guns I swore by, guns I carried for years, suddenly looking a little old once these new ones stepped up. But that's the game, isn't it? You think you know what works, and then something comes along and proves you wrong. So here's what I want to know. Which pistol made you eat crow? The one you laughed at, trashed in the comments, then shot it, and had to admit it wasn't half bad? Drop it down below. Don't hold back. I read it all, even the trash talk. I'm Steve, and let me bestow you some sage advice. Don't trust hype and don't buy into shiny ads. Just run the gun and let it earn your respect or your hate. That's how you find out the truth. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.